Hey folks, just a quick little thing before we get started. Negotiations between the Writers Guild of America and the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers has collapsed. As of midnight, May 2nd, 2023, the WGA is on strike. We here at Lost on Lost stand in solidarity with all labor movements.
That's right. Creating film and television is a collaborative art, of course, but it all starts with a script. Good, bad, doesn't matter.
Clearly.
We're in a new era of entertainment. Shorter seasons of television, movies having the option of being released to streaming instead of theaters, and the value of our entertainment being determined by Wall Street earnings instead of what we, the audience, actually want to see.
We're also in an era of unchecked corporate greed and wealth inequality. The WGA's demands are not only reasonable, but they're a necessary bulwark against further labor exploitation, not only in entertainment, but in other industries.
The bosses are always going to try and squeeze, but labor has the power as long as we stand in solidarity against those who would exploit us.
Corporate greed led to the strike back in 2007, and Lost 4th season was shortened by that strike. So right now, your favorite shows and the people that work on them are already being affected by this one.
That's right. During the 100 days of the 2007-2008 writers' strike, the AMPTP cost the economy of Los Angeles an estimated 38,000 jobs, and it cost us Lost fans 2 episodes, which would have given us a more in-depth look into the lives of Miles and Daniel and Charlotte.
Wait, who?
The WGA isn't asking for the world. They just want fair compensation for the work they do and the product that they create. These companies would rather see people out of work for potentially months on end rather than part with just a couple of % of their corporate profits.
In the show notes, we're going to link a community fund where you can support the film and television professionals who are being affected by the AMPTP's douchebaggery and general unwillingness to negotiate with the writers. Go to entertainmentcommunity.org and click donate. Once there, you can use the drop-down and direct your gifts specifically to film and television to support our writers and below-the-line labor who are standing in solidarity with the WGA. We here on Lost don't fucking cross picket lines. We stand with the WGA. Workers of the world unite. Solidarity forever.
If we don't live together, we're gonna die alone.
Wait, what? Hi, I'm JP.
And I'm Adam.
I've never seen Lost.
I have.
I'm told that it's good.
I liked it.
I'm told that it made sense.
Sort of.
But we're watching it out of order.
So it definitely won't make sense.
But it might still be good. Since we won't expect it to make sense, we'll still be able to appreciate each episode on its own merits as a 1-hour story.
Sometimes 2 or 3.
As opposed to just a fraction of an ongoing, sprawling, and increasingly complex tangle of relationships, personal stories, mysteries, mythologies, experiments, social dynamics, unnatural disasters, unanswered questions, and hot tropical hookups.
Are you okay?
I'm not sure.
Because you lost me a little bit there at the end.
Well, good, because I've been lost since the beginning.
We're Lost on Lost.
Welcome everybody to Lost on Lost. Hey, I'm JP Russell, and I'm joined as always by a man who has room on his back for a back room tattoo, Adam Busher.
The real estate is getting used up pretty quickly. I'm fully tatted all the way. Just there's about a 3.5 square inch thing on my right shoulder blade that I'm saving for a special occasion.
I don't have any tattoos, but I do have a rash that will not go away. Adam, we never really talked about this on the podcast, but for the folks at home, we saw each other over the holiday, and sort of as just a joke Christmas gift, I got you a signed baseball card size picture of Randy, the actor that played Randy.
You did.
On Lost.
Mm-hmm.
And in Googling some stuff for this episode, tvmoviecards.com also popped up again with a autographed picture of Bai Ling. Now, the picture I got for you of Randy was like $7 with shipping. The picture of Bai Ling is currently going for $75. So I'd like to take this moment to let folks know coffee.com/wearelostonlost. If you would like for one of us to own an autographed 2-pixel resolution JPEG of Bai Ling. So
excellent.
Today we are talking about Stranger in a Strange Land, the 9th episode of season 3 and the 58th episode of Lost overall. Our central character is everyone's favorite kite enthusiast, Dr. Jack Shepherd. Stranger in a Strange Land takes place on the 73rd and 74th days after the crash of Oceanic Flight 815. Adam, do you have a recap?
I certainly do.
Fly that thing in the air, baby. Let's go.
Somewhere out there on the island, folks gotta get places, and we're gonna watch them. Dr. Jack Shepherd remains in the clutches of the others. Ben Linus isn't feeling too well thanks to Jack, and neither is Danny thanks to crack-shooting Dr. Juliet Burke. Will there be consequences? There always are. And in the before times, Jack goes to Phuket to find himself. And like all soul-weary travelers desperate to find a guiding star by which to navigate the blue-black seas of the human condition, Jack finds exactly what he always needed, a good ass beating. This episode of Lost leaves a lot to be desired. Too bad we're stuck with it. It's Stranger in a Strange Land here on Lost on Lost.
I thought you were going to make a Phuket joke, like... Phuket, let's talk about it.
Phuket, let's talk. Like, what's that joke? If a man walks sideways through an airport with a boner, he's going to Phuket. That's not how the joke goes. We have a guest.
Wow.
We do?
As usual, we have a guest, returning all-star for the hat trick. Give or take,
Ooh.
number 3. Official Blu-ray correspondent Justin Nickels. Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me back.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Justin, what have you been up to in, you don't have as much time between episodes as the normal guest.
I know.
But,
Usually it takes 2 years for me to return. But yeah, not a whole lot. Just hanging out, watching stuff. Finally watched The Bear. People talk about that. It was a good show. I recommend it. Yeah, just been watching stuff. Mostly Star Trek.
Did you watch Cocaine Bear?
No, I haven't yet, but I think that's going to be...
fuck?
by the time this airs, I think it's going to be streaming, so...
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so I'll probably have seen it by the time this airs. Who knows, though? Yeah.
Who knows?
Cool.
We were saying just before we started recording, there are so many movies to watch. I had, like, Justin, you recently started a little movie like book club type thing, which is a lot of fun. And since joining your movie club, I think I've watched more movies in the past 5 weeks than I have in the past 5 years.
That's great. That's awesome.
And I mean, it's funny because almost none of it's new. I think the newest movie might have been from 2011.
Okay.
But it's all stuff that I've meant to watch over all this time, and I'm always like, I'll get to it.
Hey, y'all want to talk about some Lost?
Sure, why not?
All right. Stranger in a Strange Land originally aired on February 21st, 2007. It was written by Elizabeth Sarnoff and Christina M. Kim and was directed by Paris Barclay. Mm-hmm. Elizabeth Sarnoff was the executive story editor on Crossing Jordan. As somebody who's actually crossed Jordan, I have some notes for you, Elizabeth. Christina M. Kim is uncredited for her work on Lost Missing Pieces. Oof.
Unbelievable.
And Paris Barclay only directed 1 episode of Lost, but he did direct 3 episodes of Sliders, and that's fucking awesome. And if I'm really quiet this episode, just know that I'm over here on my end watching old clips from Sliders. Show me a way to go home. I'm tired and I want to go to bed just the way that I had a little drink about an hour ago and it's gone right to my head.
All right, so here's the thing. Justin and I have both seen the show already. Justin, you said you watched this episode twice and then a third time to take notes within the past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I remember this episode not being super thrilled with it back when I watched it the first time, and I was kind of dreading coming back to it because I was like, I don't know how I'm going to feel about this. All I know is that, it's one of Lost's lowest rated episodes.
Yeah.
And so he starts singing the song, and we're 5 seconds into it, and I was like, I debated turning it off and watching Jaws. I was like, man, I want to be professional, but I honestly might just read a recap of this episode and not watch it.
This episode, it doesn't hold up. And
You're both out of your mind. This episode's lovely.
Do you love this episode, JP?
We'll get into it.
Yeah, Kate and Sawyer are sailing their catamaran away from Hydra Island back to the main island.
Someone just got shot in front of them. They barely escaped with their lives, and now they're taking a leisurely canoe trip. Just like... What just happened on the beach over there? I don't fucking remember.
Who knows?
Some old shit. Why are you talking about old shit? Let's talk about new shit.
Carl's fucking along too, and he is doinked.
Just have his little disco nap. He's fucking, oh man, God loves you as he loves Jacob. I'm like, what? Shut up.
What kind of drugs are you
Carl,
taking? It does not sound like you were taking fun drugs. It sounds like you were taking kind of boring and serious drugs.
I liked, this is what 2006 probably that this was filmed. Seven.
Yeah.
And so, but they were actually filming out on the water. Mm-hmm. They don't do that in things anymore.
No, that would have been a tank. No,
yeah.
The biggest sin that I found in this scene was that Sawyer called her kiddo, which I hate.
I wrote that down too. So gross.
He said that, and so like a real sad tone was like, "Sorry, kiddo." It's like, "Bleh."
You guys fucked. Do not call that person kiddo.
Like recently, like a lot of like a couple of minutes before Danny got shot in front of them, they had sex in that cage.
Yeah,
and I don't think they know it, but do they know about the cameras?
I don't recall.
Okay,
they don't mention it in this episode. I only pay attention to the episodes I watch for the show.
But hypothetically, we know at least one person saw him doinking, but some other people might have seen him too. We're here to watch. Gross. So yeah,
that's why I go to the zoo to watch animals. Fuck.
Man, the last time I went to the zoo, I went to the LA Zoo. They have a Tasmanian devil. Like, okay, so it doesn't spin in a circle like the cartoon, but it runs in a circle.
Oh.
And I sat there and I watched the Tasmanian devil run in a circle around the fence of its cage for no less than a half an hour.
Wow.
That sounds great.
It was fascinating.
I haven't been to a zoo in over a decade.
Now I'm like, I would never go to a zoo.
Yeah. So
again, there was a date that I went on.
All right.
God, women make me do stuff I don't want to do.
That's where Adam takes all of his dates to the Tasmanian devil exhibit, and he's back again.
He takes it there, and he's like, I'm really not sure about the ethical boundaries here. And then
I was really just curious about the Tasmanian devil, and I mean. That's about
I think that if he runs fast enough, he'll turn into a little tornado.
We'll cut all this.
No, we're not.
He's like, I'm sure these are great conservation efforts that are going to keep these animals alive.
Yeah. Now let's go to the LA Aquarium.
Let's get down to brass tacks. How much for the devil? Cut to Jack in his cell. Tom is in love with Jack.
Yeah, I gotta think, maybe he's just like happy having somebody new to talk to, because like they're chilling all the time.
He has such this like sweet older father like energy about him, specifically with Jack. I suppose with Kate a little bit too.
Sure,
but Tom's he's got a big soul. He's got a big heart.
I don't know why. Maybe it's because he doesn't have a beard. But like when I see him Gainey with a beard, I'm like, that is an unhinged, wild-eyed madman. And without his beard, it's like, this is a suburban father, just like out here. Is like, he probably just got done mowing the lawn. He's gonna take a nap in about an hour. Like,
he's gonna take the crust off my sandwich.
Just this episode, I felt nothing about him in any way, and I couldn't remember his name. They don't say his name. I don't even think. I think they only say the names Jack, Kate, and Sawyer.
That sounds about right. Well,
and Juliet.
And Sawyer says Carl once or twice.
Yeah.
But yeah, they don't really. Yeah.
And I guess that one woman
and
later.
Isabel. Yeah.
This might be residual feelings because we recently watched another season 3 episode, and not just a season 3 episode, but one nearby-ish to here. Like
the one right before this one.
Oh, yeah. We watched Not in Portland.
Right.
Just like, recently. So yeah, maybe that's part of it. We're relatively familiar with all this stuff.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So Tom's like, we got to move you. And Jack's like, well, so this is it. How are you going to kill me, huh? And Tom's like, well, what kind of people do you think we are? He's like, baby snatchers, fucking attempted murderers, fucking pregnant lady kidnappers.
Attempted murder? That's hardly a crime. Do they give out Nobel Prizes for attempted chemistry?
But Jack fucking reads them the list like, yeah, this is the kind of people you are. And then Tom's like, people who live in glass houses fucking shouldn't. Like, what?
Thanks, Dad.
I think Tom might be onto something, though.
Yeah, I mean, Jack does act as though the survivors are completely without fault throughout the relationship between the survivors and the others, and that would be a stretch to say that.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, okay, you can make an argument about the revenge factor and all that stuff, but like, okay, Ethan kidnapped Claire and the baby and all that stuff, and then tried to kill Charlie, and then Charlie cold-bloodedly murdered him, so it's like, tit for tat. It's like, you can't say that, the others are guilty of all this shit, and,
Even stuff from prior to being on the island. Some of these people are terrible.
Yeah, exactly.
Most of them, in fact.
Yeah.
If only they could all be sent to some place, like some sort of waiting room to be judged in the afterlife. I'm starting to see where like those theories were, like how they were gaining credence.
Yeah.
Cut to the hallway. We're going to talk for a brief moment about detainee operations.
Sure. Yep.
When I've trained with military police, that's why when you're transporting people from room to room, you typically don't have them walking on their own accord. You either carry them or have them in like a wheelchair, and you kind of shuffle them around a little bit so they don't know the fucking hallways, and you put a mask over them or you blindfold them so they can't see the other fucking detainees.
Yep.
Anyways.
Yep. Yeah, Juliet's being moved at the same time, just in cuffs.
Yeah.
That's
it. That's the cold open.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a new blonde woman. We see the new blonde woman.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's the cold open. We come back into what is obviously still Hawaii.
Yeah, very much so. If you just pan the camera a little bit more to the left, you see the fuselage.
Yeah, right. But this is Thailand. This is Phuket. Jack's on vacation.
Yeah. It seems like more than vacation. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like a long time.
It's like I'm on sabbatical.
Yeah. And they don't ever mention it in this episode. I'm wondering if this is post divorce, right? Like this is him.
It has to be.
It has to
Maybe.
be, right? Like maybe like
Or maybe it wasn't. You know.
I mean,
hey baby, I'm going on sabbatical to Thailand. Oh, when are we going? We.
Maybe this is one of the underlying issues.
hey baby, can you walk yet? No. Oh, you got a couple months of PT? I'm going to Thailand.
Jesus.
Or is this before?
Oh my god. Oh, before. Oh, it could be before Sarah. Yeah, it could be before Sarah.
Like, what year did they?
Yeah, that's true.
What year was this?
It doesn't really matter.
No, I mean that's the thing.
Way.
It doesn't matter even at all. But yeah, in my head, like watching it, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, he's trying to put his life back together after getting divorced. That's I think what I thought way back in the beginning, and that's why it stuck with me now.
Yeah,
but yeah, it could have been any time.
It's got to be after because he doesn't have the long hair.
Oh, he's not wearing the wiggy ass wig.
Yeah.
I was to say, if he was wearing the Party of Five wig, it would like be like maybe he just got done with med school or something.
It's possible. You know, there was like this whole thing in the late 90s, early 2000s where like white people in America were obsessed with Thailand.
That's true. That is true.
So,
like Phuket was like the destination.
They're like full moon parties.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Go to Thailand.
Yeah. Maybe he did that and he got there and he was like, I'm too old for this. You know,
nobody wants to hang out with me. I guess I'll buy a kite.
Yeah, that tracks.
This episode's so weird. I'm
So
like,
odd.
Yeah,
but yeah, like he buys he's got a kite. He buys a couple of sodas from like a beach kid.
Yeah,
it becomes clear he does not speak Thai.
Yep,
he doesn't know how to build a kite.
Come on, Doc. You're so fucking good at everything else.
This is true. The only two things he's not good at are speaking Thai and building kites. He's good at everything else.
Yeah.
Then Bai Ling is there.
Yeah. Bai Ling just shows up. I don't even we're just calling her Bai Ling, right? Like,
yeah. I think so.
I don't care what a character name is. I'm wearing my Bai Ling shirt right now for those of you on the audio. But yeah, Bai Ling comes up and shows him how to build the kite. And then he flies it. Neat.
Yep.
And like I wrote, why would Bai Ling just walk up to Jack on the beach in my notes? Like why?
Because
like,
she's got the hots for him.
Why? Yeah,
Well,
that
doesn't track.
This
Look
doesn't
at
seem
it.
real.
Yeah, he looks. I mean, look at him. Like until like mid-end season 4, like Jack's vibe is disheveled, tired, cranky white dude.
Yeah.
And so yeah, like I mean, like when I was like, I didn't remember what she did for a living, really. Like honestly, because it's Thailand and because she's pretty, I thought she was a prostitute.
Yeah.
And I was like, Jack his name might as well be Mark. He's a Mark-ass Mark, and Bai Ling's
Trick-ass Mark.
I mean, I think I imagine that's something that they were trying to imply,
Yeah,
like
I think,
prostitute with the heart of gold trope.
Yeah,
maybe?
yeah, exactly.
And
I think that's what they were that's what they were setting it up to, and then they were going to twist it later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if that was what they were trying to do, it was effective for the first time in this episode, and probably last time.
Cut back to the island. Jack's still in the cage. Tom brings him some food. Who's that woman? The sheriff. Okay, that's it. Yeah, you stay in this cage. We got you locked in. We're watching you on that camera.
The sheriff, A-cab. Yeah. Yeah. My note for this scene is Tom feeds Jack. Cut to the boat. They are arguing about whether to make landfall at the most direct beach in front of them or to continue sailing to get to the survivor beach faster.
Right. So Sawyer says, we don't have a map. I can't navigate at night. Okay, fine. Make landfall, camp, and then get back in the boat in the morning.
Sail some more. Yeah. And then have a boat,
Right. Yeah.
Resource management.
So is this first time back in a boat?
Yeah, maybe Sawyer has a little PTSD from the raft situation.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Is that the last?
It's like, I gotta get out this raft.
We're adding subtext here that I don't think was in the episode, but
somebody had to.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they have this meaningless argument, and then they land on the beach, and then they make camp. And Carl is awake, and he just starts giving them the answers to what the others are. We just work there, but we live here, and we're just like people, and everything's whatever. And
you've got backyards.
It's like yeah, this is just a regular island. It's all good.
Right. He talks about how he's in love with Alex, and how they used to make up names for the constellations, but the constellations already have names. So
and they're already made up. Somebody already made them up. They didn't read Ursa Major in a book, a list of constellations. Be like, oh, that's what that's called. They were like, they were doing the same exact thing happened. So people are just laying there and like, oh, bear, and then they were like, let's call it Ursa Major because we speak Latin or whatever.
But they say Ursa Theodorus for teddy bear.
Right.
Oh, wow.
That was a good story.
Cut to Jack in the cage.
Juliet visits Jack. Ben's stitches are infected.
Yeah, not looking good.
Yeah, somebody when they were stitching him up must have used a dirty needle or got some spit or sweat in his wound or something like that. It's looking real bad.
I mean, the operating facility, while it's better than being out in the jungle, it doesn't look terribly sterile.
True.
You don't have cleaning crews coming in. It looks fucking dirty.
It looks like there's mold in the background.
Yeah, and it's fully intended for animals. It's a veterinary clinic. It's not like a literal hospital.
Right.
So
it's like Jeremy Piven in Heat.
Talk about knowing your audience, Justin Nickels, everybody. Thank you.
It's like
that Jeremy Piven vehicle.
Jeremy Piven in Heat. That's the name of the episode. I'm writing it down now.
All right.
But Juliet's basically like, hey, I need you to, come take a look at Ben. And Jack's basically like, there's no fucking way I'm doing that. Absolutely not. Juliet's like, well, would you do it as a favor to me? He's like, why the fuck would I do that? Again, you're giving me nothing. She's like, well, I'm in trouble. I killed someone. And Jack's like, that's a fucking you problem. Too bad. That's who'd you kill? Whatever.
Oh, you'd owe me a favor? In what world are you in a position to grant anybody favors? You're in cuffs. Yeah. Yeah, I don't blame him here at all. She's fucked.
Here's the thing. I don't want to get too far into the episode. All of the stuff with Jack on island, basically where he's just getting into verbal arguments with people, I don't mind it. Jack's basically in a fuck you attitude this whole episode. I'm like, yeah, this is the time for you to be in that attitude.
Yeah, no doubt.
What's in it for me?
Yeah. Cut to flashback. Jack and Bai Ling are having lunch.
Yeah.
That's about it.
She gets an envelope. They're chatting. It's all real. Very detached. Don't get to know me. Sex worker vibes.
Yeah.
This is just let's keep it surface level. We don't need to get to know each other.
I think I wrote Jack is living the early millennium white boy Southeast Asia backpacking dream,
and he's 45 years old.
Not early millennial, early millennium.
Yeah.
Let's make that clear.
Turn of the century, early 2000s. Yep.
So Bai Ling's like, why don't you know how to fly a kite? Which he does. He just didn't know how to assemble one.
Right. He didn't know how to build a kite. Yeah, exactly.
So then he says, well, my dad worked a lot. He starts talking about the fact that as a kid, I didn't do this kind of thing with my dad. And she's like, I have no interest in hearing about your dad. You fucking asked.
Well, no, she asked why he, like, you know, the answer to why can't you fly a kite is because this is the first time I've ever done it. That's the answer. Not, well, my dad didn't love me enough.
Well, all right.
They're sitting at lunch. He's not laying on the couch.
So yeah, she, you know, they're having a meal together or whatever, and some random guy just comes up and gives her an envelope, which, I mean, we're to assume it's money, right?
It's got to be money. Like, what else would? Nothing ever comes in envelopes like that. Like, nothing else ever comes in envelopes. Yeah. Here's your W-2 for maybe you're a prostitute.
Yeah. Let's play a fun game. How much money is in the envelope? Justin?
I've got a notion. You know, like the movie The Beach takes place in Thailand as well, and they talk about how much it costs to get from one place to another, and they are like, you wouldn't believe how cheap this sounds. Like, it sounds more expensive than it is. And I bet it's 500,000 Thai baht is what I imagine, which let's see how much American dollars.
Justin,
it's $14,507.
$14,507. Good guess.
So that's $700,000. That's $600,000, and now we're at $500,000 for Justin Nickels episodes, baby.
Perfect. That's probably the correct answer. He got it.
It's expensive tattoos.
Cut to the cages. The sheriff visits Jack. She reads his tattoo. Do you know what that says? Because, you know, most people who get foreign languages tattooed on their bodies don't necessarily know what they mean. It's that joke of like, oh, my tattoo says peace, love, freedom in Chinese. And it's like actually number 4 with egg drop soup.
Well, so my question was, because she says it's Chinese, but in Thailand, they speak Thai.
Yeah, but Bai Ling is Chinese.
Right.
And these are Matthew Fox's real tattoos. So
they had a Chinese tattoo artist
living in Thailand
and then tattooed him in Chinese.
Yeah, in Thailand.
Okay. That all checks out. Isabel is just like, hey, come with me.
Right.
The look that she gives him then as like, come with me, screams, no one has called cut yet. So, but I need to keep acting.
Lip? Like, I thought she bit her lip at him, like, come with me.
She like, her body turns, but her eyes are still like locked on her mark. And she's like, okay, are we cutting? Are we cutting? Somebody please say cut.
She did give him a weird look. I do remember that. Not a weird look, but a look that didn't necessarily fit what was happening.
Yeah. Also, fuck this lady. I hate her. I hate her character. I hate her performance.
She takes him to be questioned. They pass by Alex.
Yeah.
And then they have a sit down with Juliet and Tom also. So, like, there's this whole other thing that's happening off camera in this episode, which is the trial of Juliet.
You'd think that would almost be, I don't know if they were like caught up, like we can't give too much away about the others, but you'd think that would give this episode a C plot to help propel it, and then maybe not have so much, I don't know, like there's just so much wrong with this episode. Right, like, it's really weird.
There's literally a parallel story happening here that they didn't show. They only showed us parts of.
Yeah.
And never does the feeling for me, the audience viewer, be like, oh, what's going on? Oh, this is so mysterious. It's like, just show me it. Don't fucking allude to it. Like, there's nothing happening over here, so what's happening over there?
Right.
Well, so, like, you know, not to... I know... as the person who's never seen this show, I'm not supposed to like ask too many questions, but like, do we ever see that trial?
I don't think so. I really don't.
No.
And
I don't think Isabel's in any other episodes.
I don't recall her being
I don't
in
remember her any other episodes.
Maybe she pops up later.
Yeah, maybe just like, you know, as like they bring her back. Like, this is definitely the first time she shows up in the show.
Yeah.
And then maybe she's in a later episode. But yeah, like, no, we never see the trial of Juliet. We don't even see her like punishment.
You could have done a whole like Crucible style like thing. Like,
yeah.
anyways.
She just questions him about, like, you said that Juliet said, let's kill Ben. Is that true? And he's like, nah, this is fucking with y'all.
Psych!
And she's like, you're lying. I know you're lying. And he's like, I'm out of here. Give me a lawyer.
Well, it's cool. So, like, I have the Blu-rays, and so, like, I put the Blu-ray in. One nice thing is the menu for this disc is a TV on a stand, and it's like Juliet doing the notes, and that's cards. All the menu is.
To me, you are perfect.
Yeah, yeah. And they should put that. That's like a waste of a meme. It's like too late to do it.
You be quiet. It's never too late.
Yeah, it's true. Like, here's an oddly obscure meme. We put the Love Actually note cards in the disc 2 of season 3 of Lost Blu-ray.
Justin, you just described our fucking social media presence.
Oh man!
But it like. That was fun. Like, after I finished the episode, I was like reminded of like stuff, and I was like, "This is a good show."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And just like all good shows, it has its peaks and its valleys. We cut to a flashback.
Yeah.
So Bai Ling climbs into bed with Jack. He wants to know more about her. She is evasive.
Yeah, they've been shacking up for about a month. Mm-hmm. Or he's been there for a month, and she kind of comes in, comes out. They do some stuff, and she has offered up nothing about herself.
I don't know if this was the same for you guys watching it over a stream, but the makeup covering up his real tattoos was so obvious.
Oh yeah, the air. Yeah.
And it was like, and it was very bizarre.
Yeah, when I first noticed it, I was like, am I noticing it because I'm looking for it, or is it just that bad?
I think it's just that obvious.
Okay.
And
because like I saw it and I was like, but I also know they had to cover up his real tattoos. Yeah. So like,
and you can't have him sleep in a full t-shirt like a Daytona Beach style. Like, he's gotta show off the fact that he does a lot of pull-ups.
I don't have any other notes for this scene. They fall on the floor.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
I wrote, there's really no actual development of Bai Ling's character.
She has a gift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neat.
Go to the cages. It's the morning. There's just a bunch of people watching Jack in the cage.
This scene is the most bonkers shit I have seen in this goddamn show. There is just a gaggle of people who we have not seen. Cindy's there, who I forgot that she was alive. And they're just like, hey, we're here to watch. What? That's it? And then Jack's gonna be like, scram! Get out of here! Go watch something else! There's some creepy fucking kids. Like, what is this scene?
Zach and Emily, right? Those are the name of the kids?
I think so.
I don't know. We've never seen them before.
Yeah, I think the kids were in the tail.
Yeah. And that's where Cindy's from, right?
Yeah, and Cindy's also from the tail.
It's like the last. That's why they're like, she's asking about how Ana Lucia is. Yeah, and he's like, get out of here. I don't want to tell you. She's dead.
Because the only reason Jack knows Cindy is because he remembers her from the plane.
Yeah.
He never saw her on the island because she didn't come. She wasn't one of the tailies that joined the middle section. And the same thing with the kids. The kids were snatched from the tail section area, and so he never, like, he wouldn't have known them kids anyway. So like,
did we see that though? Was that in the other 48 days? Because I think it was not remember kids.
Yes,
Cindy gets captured.
Cindy gets captured during the other 48 days, and we see Emily and Zach's feet in that episode where Jin and Echo are under the bush, and they're like, the survivors don't make a noise, and they're like, and so we see kids' feet and a teddy bear. And that's supposed to be
really?
Zach. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And that's supposed to be Zach and Emily.
I don't remember that.
We at least see a teddy bear.
Yeah.
I thought, didn't Cindy get captured when they were hauling Sawyer's corpse up the fucking hill?
She gets captured by the others.
She doesn't. It doesn't happen early in the 48 days. It happens. She disappears right before Ana Lucia shoots.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Shannon. Yeah. So it's like second.
Is this the reveal that like she's been with him the whole time? Is this actually?
That must be it. Like, yeah, because she disappears in that episode back in season 2, and we don't ever see her again until just now. And so that must be this must be the reveal. That
anyways,
Could you remember a flight attendant from 60 days prior? I guess maybe it's like a highly traumatic event, so it's probably like imprinted in your brain, the crash.
Maybe. And maybe because they had that specific interaction where she hooked him up. Like, I mean, if like every interaction I've ever had with a flight attendant is literally like, something to drink, sir? Diet Coke. Then she hands me a bag of peanuts, and that's it.
Yeah.
I've never had it any longer. But Jack had a specific interaction with her where he was like, well, that's not a very strong drink. And he's like, you want to get liquored up? Here's a couple extra things of vodka. Yeah, maybe I'd remember that. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. She's Australian. She has a distinct accent. I don't know.
Yeah. But I guess she's still wearing the uniform.
But I don't like this gaggle of people are like, we're here to watch. They don't say what.
No.
What are they? Is this on their way to go watch Juliet's trial? And they're like, oh, let's look at the Tasmanian devil exhibit's closed. Let's go look at this human in a cage. Like, what are they there to watch?
Is that maybe it is the trial?
That was my question. Okay, so like we've already established this is just an island where the others work. They don't hang out here. The barracks is on the main island. We already know that. We saw that in several episodes already in the past. The only people that hypothetically should be here were the people who needed to be here to tend to Ben for his surgery and provide security for it, you know, and to operate whatever logistics, the nature of being in the Hydra. Somebody's got to run a generator or a water pump, you know, whatever. That's the only people that should be here. And then, so like, then everybody, they were like, oh, we're going to burn Juliet at the stake, grab the boat and bring everybody from the mainland over to the Hydra.
Get the kids.
Take the fucking, instead of bringing everybody over to watch Juliet's trial, go back to the mainland and have the trial over there.
Right. It's so, like, I
was confused, to say the least. One of the kids asks after Ana Lucia. And it's like, is Ana Lucia okay? And Jack's like, yeah, she's fine.
But, like, how would they even know who she is? Because then they get snatched on, like, the first night.
The kids get snatched pretty early, I think. Oh, you know, I'm vaguely remembering, but, like, I think during the other 48 days, we see Ana Lucia, like, that's one of the first interactions the kid have is, like, she helps the kid, Emily, like, Zach was drowning or something.
Yeah. Okay.
So like,
yep.
Ana Lucia was like the first adult the kids ran into after the crash.
Right, yeah. Sorry, cut all that.
So maybe there's something there. We're not cutting it. We're leaving it.
Oh, okay. Cut to Kate and Sawyer. They wake up and Carl's gone. Well, a problem that solves itself. That's a problem for me. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
I wrote Josh Holloway is really trying to make this episode work. He's like, because he's all in.
He's acting like he is acting, man. Like, I'm gonna go talk to him. Boys only. You stay.
He's having a jungle cry.
And then like exhibits some very brief toxic masculinity. It's almost like he needs to do some sort of buffer between like trying to be actually genuine and sincere. Like, I don't know, because like he punches him, he's like, cowboy up.
Yeah. He's like,
I've had my heart broken too.
He's like, he goes, I've been with a lot of girls.
Brag.
And I went, sure, Sawyer.
Yeah, so there's this weird Brady Bunch thing that just has to fill
Bobby.
out 10 seconds.
Bobby. Well, it's funny because there's the acknowledgement of his super obscure nicknames.
Yeah.
Come on, Bobby. My name's Carl.
Yeah.
Like,
And
I
then he's
grew up
like,
on this fucking island, dude. Like, what?
we didn't have the Brady Bunch here.
it's from the Brady Bunch. That shit was out of the 70s, man. I'm obviously 17 years old.
Right.
We don't have
Also, the Brady
TBS.
Bunch isn't that good of a show.
Although I think isn't Alice in an episode of Lost? Or am I thinking of something else?
Maybe. She was still alive.
Yeah, she's around. I don't know.
She lived to be.
Probably 1,000 years old. Yeah. So
but,
like,
yeah.
this is this constellation story. Like, we used to watch the stars together, and I'm in love with her. And he's like, well, just go after her, then, slugger.
Go to your impending doom to be with your love. I did a good job here today.
They'll kill me if they see me. Well, then it'll have been worth it. What the fuck is happening?
See, Kate, I'm being sensitive.
Back to the cages. Alex breaks the camera. I love it. Direct action, you know.
Yeah.
Cause chaos. Truly an agent for, keeping things interesting, at least.
Yeah.
She asked Jack why he saved Ben.
Right.
Jack's like, I had to, or whatever. She tells Jack that Juliet's going to be executed for helping Jack.
Yeah.
And of course, Jack has a plan.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like, is the next scene when they go into the room?
Operating room.
Yep.
I will say that incision, the scar, that was pretty gnarly.
Yeah,
and
that's
like,
some good makeup.
Yeah. It looks infected.
yeah.
And the dude, there's like a different doctor there who's jabbing with a big needle, and Jack's like, "Don't you dare!"
Yeah.
What's even in that needle?
Infection juice.
500 cc's of ketamine.
This is turkey gravy. Anyways,
It's high C.
so that's a better joke. There we go. We got there.
Jack's like, this infection, I need to fix it. Like, it's like, it's not just like you don't, just put some antibiotics on it. Like, this is
Right,
fucked.
yeah.
Like, I got to redo this kind of.
Yeah.
Which I'm willing to do because I'm such a nice guy and I don't want anything in return.
Sure.
Sure. Ben's like, I got you. Like the last time you did surgery on me, I had to let you go. What is it going to cost me this time? It's like, well, now you got to let Juliet go.
Ah. He's like, Juliet doesn't give a fuck about you, right? Like,
He's like, that's exactly my type.
right. Yeah. Speaking of, cut the flashback.
So Jack is drunkenly tailing Bailing somewhere through town. Full stealth mode in the flip-flops.
Do you guys think that was a soundstage or just like a dressed up
Neighborhood in Honolulu,
Yeah.
maybe?
like I don't think that the alleyway that she walks into is a soundstage, but there's something about
It did look... it looked not real in some way, and that's what I had the same question. I was like, is there like is there a neighborhood like that they dressed to make this? Like, did they do a location here, or did they just...
because it seems wildly expensive
right
for that one,
for just this one shot? Yeah. So
and it like perplexed me on my third view.
It's yeah, he's using his best stealth flip flops, and she goes into a building.
I just love when people drink out of paper bags in general. Like I just love the vibe of that, because it's like the explanation of it from The Wire is the paper bag thing. It's like, we never had a paper bag for drugs and all that stuff. It's like it's this compromise that we all made. You can't drink in public.
right.
But if you put your drink in a paper bag, you're not drinking.
Right. No,
Like,
it's okay.
The great compromise of the urban
Yes.
life, and I just love that as like just a visual and
It's
just
very
a
good.
symbol. So yeah, drinking from and it also means, especially if it's a bottle, that dude's drunk as hell.
Yeah.
Because like if it's a tall boy, okay, then he might have a little buzz on. But if it's like a traveler, like that guy's getting
Right.
hammered. That guy drank 5-6 shots in the past hour. Like,
Yeah.
When I'm walking around in public with my yardstick of gin and tonic, but it's wrapped in Christmas wrapping paper, it's festive.
Exactly. Yeah.
Brown paper bag is serious drinking.
He tails her to a tattoo parlor.
Yeah.
I wrote, white boy Jack is here to appropriate your culture.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, kind of. Like, you owe it to him. Like, Bailing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but now that he's here and he figured it out, the prize is he gets a free tattoo.
He gets so mad about this. I think he'd rather her have been a prostitute the whole time.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how you could say he gets mad. He only, like, lightly assaults her.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, man.
He gets inappropriately angry about this.
Yes.
Yeah.
And yeah, like throws her around, like kind of like this is classic wild-eyed sweaty Jack, just like
This is what old Tom was talking about. These glass houses right here.
Exactly.
It's like,
There's the parallel. There's the parallel.
There are so many ways that you can show someone's troubled past, and show the growth of them throughout a show.
Mm-hmm.
Jack is supposed to be our fucking main character, and we're seeing him get unreasonably mad and physically abusive with somebody who has done nothing wrong to him. And it's
Absolutely
like, this is a wild fucking plot line for this main character we're supposed to like.
on a network show.
Yeah.
And it's weird. Like, he's terrible. Like, he's a terrible person here. You know?
He's drunk. He's entitled. It's fucking... yeah. She's some sort of medium. She says, I'm not just a tattoo artist. I see who people are, and then I mark them with that. And it's funny because the drawings on the wall or the tattoos on the wall are like kind of like typical like the Asian flavor, like Yakuza style tattoos, like dragons. It's like I see people and I mark them, and everybody I've tattooed so far is some type of dragon.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's like, put it on me. You gotta mark me, whatever.
She says, you're a leader and you're lonely. And I wrote, Bailing probably says this to all the white guys.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, yeah, Jack's not that hard to figure out.
Yeah.
Like,
and I wrote, Jack's a real jerk in this scene.
Yeah.
A real piece of work.
Yep.
He's a white guy who's solo traveling through Thailand for over a month.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what he wants to hear.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You're a leader, but that makes you the outcast. Oh, she knows. So then he's like, put it on me. And she's like, no, put it on me. Like,
there will be consequences. There always are. I mean, that's
always.
just something like that a parent says to somebody before they get any tattoo.
Yeah. I don't know if you'll be able to get a job after this, Jack.
You know, tattoos are permanent. It's like you had kids. You're talking to your permanent consequence. Leave me alone.
that's perfect.
What's that joke I always tell? It's not even my joke, but it was like, people who have like a lot of tattoos and they're like, oh, what does that tattoo mean? It's like that tattoo means I had at one point had $200 extra and nobody stopped me.
Cut back to the island. Jack and Alex are trying to get to the trial, the meeting.
Yeah, they run over there. Yeah,
she's like, you stay outside. I don't want you coming in and causing a ruckus. So he stands exactly 2 feet behind her.
Don't come in here. It'll be weird if everybody sees you.
Yeah.
All right, I'll stay right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, they open the door and everybody's just like sitting there like
everybody turns and just sees him.
Like, who let you out?
Put him back. We're gonna watch later.
You would think they would be like, oh no, this guy that we've had caged up is out right here.
Yeah.
We should get him.
Let's all of us the group get him.
And this is clearly our defined judicial system.
Yeah.
We're the ones who enforce the law. Like, why are we letting our captured
just wander
guy?
It's weird. It is weird. Alex gives a note to Isabel. Ben has commuted Juliet's sentence. She does not need to be executed, but she will be marked.
Neat.
I wrote, you would think there'd be some sort of connection between Juliet's branding and Jack's tattoos, but there's not.
There isn't really.
Oh, yeah.
I think they had an idea that there would be at some point, and then
and maybe it's that. Okay, so like Jack's tattoo says what it says, and Juliet's tattoo or brand doesn't. While it doesn't mean, the only thing it means is that she is also now an outsider.
I guess.
Maybe, I don't know. It's like, maybe there was an idea there that they never finished.
I guess she walks among
Alone?
them, but is not of them.
Yeah.
Now.
Everybody's real bummed that they're not gonna get to murder Juliet. So whatever. Oh, drag.
We brought the kids. We wanted to see a good murdering today.
Cut to flashback. Jack is gonna fly another kite. He sees the soda kid. He's like, "Hey, let me get 2." And the kid's like, "Not a fucking chance." I don't know about you know this, dude, but you're no longer welcome here. And the easiest way to show that is by not selling you soda. Then some dudes come over and kick the arrow.
This is one of the best episodes of Lost because of this scene. Jack just gets his ass beat.
I said they should have dead armed him right in the tattoo.
It's the tattoo when they pull it up, they're like, "Hey, did you we need to confirm this?" Like, but like, it's not the final form of the tattoo, which means at a certain point he's like, "Let's keep this fucking thing going, man. My body's a canvas."
My favorite TV show is Party of 5, so I'm gonna get a 5 tattooed on me.
Is that what it's from?
I think the 5 is. I think it is a Party of 5 tattoo.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's Chet. Chet is Beiling's brother. He runs the restaurant, and he's just like, you gotta bail, dude. Like, you fucked up. You crossed the line.
Yeah.
You're out. You leave Thailand and never come back. Because if you do, I'll know. Because I'm a guy who runs a restaurant. Because I'm a lawyer, also.
Yeah.
They tell him to leave. Get your fuck out of here. And like, Beiling's there, and she sees him, and she's crying. And it's all real sad because they really had this really deep emotional connection between the two of them, and now she's never going to see him again. What?
Okay. They knew nothing about one another. They just fucked a bunch of times.
And then he assaulted her.
Yeah.
Cut to the cages. Juliet visits Jack. They marked her
Right in the fucking tramp stamp.
Yeah, right in the tramp stamp.
What the fuck?
area. When you mark somebody in this sense, it's supposed to be sort of like a thing where like the mark identifies them as an outsider.
Yeah.
You know, or whatever. Like, at least in this context.
Yeah.
So let's put it somewhere that's very easy to hide.
Right. Not like the forearm or the hand or something like that.
Yeah.
Does that ever come back up?
The mark?
Anything that y'all have watched? Because
no, not anything we watched.
With the exception of the finale of this season, is this the last season 3 episode?
We have like 2 left.
Okay.
I mean, now that I'm in my 30s, every time I bend over, I have to hike my pants back up. That's just like a thing biologically that I have to do. So now every time Juliet has to bend over for any reason, I will be looking for the tramp stamp. I'm going to watch all the compilations of her bending over on YouTube for science. For science.
Just use an incognito tab. And just try and keep an eye out for any wayward Gia scenes, because those definitely won't have it.
Yeah. What? Huh?
What? We only have 1 season 3 episode left, and it's The Man from Tallahassee.
Okay.
We've watched every other season 3 episode. Jack is like, give me some of that aloe, I'll tend to your wound. And then like, she's like, thanks, or whatever. There's a weird close up of like sort of like very tender, like him grabbing her by the hip and like her almost touching his hand, and like it's like pseudo sexual, sensual kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then she's like, it's time to go. We're going home back to the place where we live. We're gonna bring you along because you're our prisoner and shit. So like, let's go. And he's like,
Nate.
Oh, okay.
the fucking, they have the sad music montage of everybody because they're like, we need to fill out 3 more minutes of this episode. We have nothing else to say.
Oh, there's we cut back to the jungle before the montage.
Oh, do we?
Sawyer, it's meaningless. Sawyer and Kate argue about Sawyer having let Carl go, and then they argue about them having had sex.
I would say that's probably the most interesting scene in the whole episode, though.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah. Because there's some actual... Yeah.
There's like conflict.
Yeah.
And
we'll talk about it in a minute.
Yeah. Sure.
And then we have this end of the episode montage that others are getting Ben, getting him move along. Isabel's like, oh, he walks among them, but he's not one of them. And he's like, that's what it says. But that's not what it means.
He's had to say that a whole bunch.
Get the fuck out of here. What does your tattoo mean, Jack? It means I was drunk in Thailand and I got a tattoo.
That's... oh my God. It's... Yeah, and then we have our 3 minutes of sad music montage.
Kate and Sawyer walking home when they could be boating.
Yeah.
Carl camping out, looking at the stars.
No, these 3 minutes could have been used to like delve deeper into the trial.
Could have been.
There's some stuff, some unexplored things that were replaced or potentially never even thought of to be done, and they were like this. Alex watches the stars also, which is this is where I got my somewhere out there joke from earlier in the episode.
Yeah,
it's very good.
Okay, thank you. Then Jack and Juliet are
under
on the boat.
The same big sky.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Luther Vandross and Linda Ronstadt.
Yeah.
Juliet's sitting on the bow of the boat. Jack comes up to her and they hang out. And now they're partners now. They're both outsiders.
I want to point it out. they used a real boat for that too. Like that is one cool thing about this show.
Mm-hmm.
They're like actually out on boats doing stuff they are.
There's quite a bit of production value in the show that never goes away.
Yeah.
Even in the doldrums, which is
But like that boat that was out there looked like a much bigger boat than the one that we saw when they snatched Wald.
Well, that's because they had to. That's the minivan. You know.
Oh.
They had to bring everybody over to Hydra to watch the trial, so they brought the big boat.
Oh, they brought the bus. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
The episode does not end with a lost sound, so we can't even make the sound to signal the end of our conversation about it.
I did write.
Let's do it anyways.
Michael Giacchino slaps though.
Oh yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
That's
who?
The composer.
The guy who makes the music.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to do the sound. Do you want to do the sound?
I mean,
you can do it if you want.
It just doesn't feel right.
Right? That's kind of what I was thinking.
Wow.
Stranger in a strange land. We did it.
Wow.
I feel bad for your listeners, honestly.
We always do.
Yeah, that's nothing new.
Yeah.
Did we like it? Was it good? That's the first big question of the post show here. Did we like it? Was it good? You can like things that suck, and you can hate things that are awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Did we like it? Was it good? Justin, kick us off.
Well, so this week I sent y'all both a link to a Tubi link to a Werner Herzog film.
Fuck, I forgot to watch that.
So
you did send us that. Please explain.
So, like, it's an interesting. It's a 30-minute film that is following an island in the Caribbean that's been it's been evacuated because there's a volcano that's about to erupt, and he and his like 2-guy film crew go to like just film the island before and could go at any moment, and they find like 3 different men that stayed on the island and that are like, yeah, this is my home. I don't know. Like some of them maybe didn't even realize that this was going on. And so they're going around, and it's really interesting because it's like completely empty towns. No one's there. And they even mentioned there's a television that's on that's tuned to static in a house. But we don't show it. He doesn't, like, you don't see it. And so there's all this stuff that you don't see. And then it ends with probably the greatest line in all of documentary film. And it's, we were there to document an inevitable catastrophe that never occurred because the volcano never goes off. And I feel like that's very touching, or very not touching, but very, it touches on this episode in a way.
Yeah.
Because the tattoos are something that there's so much meaning to.
Yeah.
And then there's nothing.
Yeah.
All that being said, I feel like this is a bad episode.
And did you enjoy it? Any of the 3 recent rewatches?
Not really. Like it was more like I felt bad for everybody making it.
Yeah,
sure.
In a different way. Like I'm curious about the production of it because I don't think it's anybody's fault outright.
Well, who's the writers?
I know whose fault it is.
Christina M. Kim and Elizabeth Sarnoff.
But were they just given that episode? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
I mean, that's the
the
thing. They're just assigned it. It's not like they're like, we really want to do a Jack's tattoo story.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
JP, what do you think?
This is not a fair answer.
Sure.
Do you remember?
This isn't a fair podcast.
Do you remember the show on MTV called Cribs?
Yeah, absolutely.
One of my favorite episodes of television is a very obscure episode of Cribs, actually, where Jerry O'Connell from Sliders, callback, is showing his place. Now, there's some controversy because Cribs, I promise I'm getting somewhere. There is some controversy because Cribs, a lot of those episodes were faked. Jerry O'Connell said, no, I'm going to show you my real place where I live. And it's just a condo. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I share a pool with the other people that live in the condo. And like, we got a ping pong table, and that's really about it. We got a fridge with like a 12-pack of beer in it. Like, that's one of my favorite episodes of television ever because I laugh my ass off at it. This is a bad episode of Lost that I adore because I love bad television. All of the flashback stuff is awful. I could not look away. All of the on-island shit, the dialogue is so surface level and bad, and like it feels like everything was the first take, I could not look away. I recognize that this is bad. I fucking love this episode for that reason.
Sure.
Adam.
Yeah, it was bad. But knowing what like the producers said about their favorite or their least favorite episodes versus what the audience's least favorite, Homecoming is still worse. I agree with them. This episode's bad. Homecoming's still way worse.
I think maternity leave is worse.
Yeah. So yeah, like it was bad, but I was just like, its biggest sin is that it's boring.
Yeah.
Because it alludes to a bunch of interesting stuff and then never shows us. It just shows us the stuff. It shows us the stuff that should have been happening off screen, and the stuff happening off screen is the stuff we should have saw. So that's its biggest sin. Is it's just boring.
I would say like this episode might be a good exercise for burgeoning writers to watch, to break down, to see like because I think they had instincts there that they wanted to do something and it just doesn't work, and it's like, why does this not work? Well, it's because there's really no actual conflict, and things just occur. Yeah,
there's no tension. It doesn't drive anything forward necessarily. Like I said in my recap, it's kind of a lot of just people moving to the next place they need to be for the story. Yeah, like Kate and Sawyer going home, the others going back to the barracks. That's Carl heading out of the jungle. Like that's it.
We got rid of Carl, and Elizabeth Mitchell got a brand. That's what happened.
Yeah. So that's about that. There we go. So bad episode. Didn't 1 out of 3 enjoyed watching it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, we still have to rejoice for the little things, right? So we're gonna give out the feel good award, the Lost MVP. So who was awesome in this shit episode? Who was trying their best? Who do we still want to give a little shout out to? Justin, who is your Lost MVP?
I think in this episode it is Sawyer. Maybe it's really hard. Like he's the only one who's like actively
trying to
something.
do something.
I will say like Elizabeth Mitchell does a great job with silence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
looking through doorways.
Yeah, and like when she's there, and like I do feel like she puts like a lot of pathos into the silence that's going on.
Yeah.
But the episode doesn't warrant the level. I think that this is a very good show.
Yes.
And this is just like people getting very, I don't know. It's like, I can't believe I watched it 3 times, but I just kept trying to feel like
we didn't ask you to do that.
I do it every time I come on.
That's true. Cause you say that you'll watch it once just to watch it, and you watch it again to note it.
Yeah. And so, Sawyer is probably character-wise, Sawyer is probably the best, but I do think actual performance, maybe Elizabeth Mitchell.
Sure. All right.
Okay. I would say.
Yeah.
Adam?
I had a hard time picking one too. Yeah, I mean, Sawyer. Because, like, this is even part of his this is very much in the early days of him becoming the White Hat, I think.
Sure. Yeah.
And that the scene with Carl is sort of like, he begins it with the typical toxic masculinity Sawyer that we know, and then immediately transitions into, like, what actually might be a real person.
Yeah.
Sure.
And so, like, throughout the episode, he's, he continues to be Sawyer. Josh Holloway continues to act well, and he tries to drive things forward, and like he's like, we can't save Jack, let's go back, like I don't know what we're gonna do, but the next thing we have to do is regroup, so let's do it. Sawyer. Sawyer. JP, what do you about you?
I'm going to give it to Jack with the qualifier that it's on Island Jack, not Flashback Jack.
Yeah, because Island Jack is a piece of shit.
yeah. Drunk abusive Jack can go fuck himself. On Island Jack, his sort of like, I got no skin in the game, so I can have this fuck you attitude. This is the place to have that attitude, not around the survivors and the people that you're supposed to be friends and compatriots with. So in dealing with the others, there was nothing really egregious that he did, and I was like, wow, Jack, I'm on your side for once here. You know?
Yeah.
So give it to Jack.
All right. Well, yeah, that's good.
Then there's the other half of this. Once again, our cup runneth over. Who was shit? Who was the worst? Who do we hate? Besides this whole episode in general, Justin, who is your Lost forever?
I would say Jack in the flashbacks.
Yeah. Solid pick, baby.
Yeah, it's kind of hard not to. He's a
real piece of shit.
He is. It's like it's the most entitled. Like I've been listening to you guys as I'm sure most of your guests do. And there's been this running through line about like how terrible Jack is. I'm like, well, no, like I still like the show. He's the main guy in the show. I still like him. And then you watch this, and I think at the time seeing it, I was probably like, oh, that's kind of gross, but like not to the level that I was now.
Sure,
and then I was
sure.
like, man, he's just like, where was this Jack on January 6th?
That's a good question.
That's what I want to know.
That's a good question.
Right where you expect him to be.
Yeah.
Wherever you think he is, that's where he is.
You're correct. Adam.
ABC Studios. It is their fault this episode exists.
Yeah.
Because they never allowed the producers to set an end time. The producers had to stall. Lindelof admits it. We were scraping for ideas. When we came up with Stranger in Strangeland, it was a bad flashback idea. It was a bad premise for the part of the episode. It was a bad casting choice and having Bai Ling there. Everything about it was bad because we were stalling. Mm-hmm. And this episode was so poorly reviewed and so poorly received that this was the episode that ABC Studios was like, all right, when do you guys want to end? We'll let you set an end date.
Right. Yeah.
So it's ABC Studios. It's their fault.
Yeah, that's fair.
JP.
TVmoviecards.com. How the fuck you gonna charge me $75 for this low resolution fake autograph picture of Bai Ling? Get fucked, man. I was gonna spend like $10 on it, but $75, you can go straight to hell.
Oh lordy. Yeah. Capitalism ruins everything. Okay. Well, that's it. Stranger in a Strangeland.
Yeah. Wow.
I was I don't know, dreading might be too strong, but I wasn't looking forward to this from the first day we started doing this podcast. I was thinking to myself, at some point we're going to have to talk about Stranger in Strangeland.
I behoove you to not cut any segment out of this and let this be your longest episode.
I wish it was our longest. I was like, if we cut stuff out of it, it'd be our shortest episode. But
maybe it just feels long just thinking about it.
Maybe. I don't know. It's I mean, Justin, thanks.
Yeah, Justin.
Thanks for volunteering because when we were thinking about doing, when I was thinking about, I was like, man, who are we going to subject to Stranger in Strangeland? Who are we going to room 23 with Stranger in Strangeland?
Yeah.
And you're like, I'll do it. I was like, all right.
Yeah, I was curious because honestly, I have all the Blu-rays and stuff, but I haven't gotten past season 2 on them since I bought that 13 years ago. And so I was just really curious. Yeah. That's considered to be a bad episode. I want to know why.
Yeah.
And I get it.
Yeah. You have anything you want to plug there, Justin?
Nothing specific.
Nothing new.
Nothing new. No.
Plug that Werner Herzog movie.
I mean, I think it behooves everyone to watch as much Herzog as they can.
Exactly.
You know, the man is a Barnum and Bailey style showman that most people don't fully grasp. They just think he has a funny voice. And
that's how people typically refer to him.
Yeah.
The Brennan Rowe Foundation is still
that's still going.
Thing.
I love people to support that.
Yep.
He's a great guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then my hometown just got wrecked by a tornado as of recording last weekend. And so I don't know if there's probably stuff for that, but I don't know any specifics to be able to pass that along. Sure, I would. I'm always like, here, let me pass along the saddest stuff possible for you guys to.
Yeah, actually, my former first sergeant is part of the state emergency response public affairs thing for Georgia, and I know they got hit by the same tornado.
They did, yeah.
If we can find some sort of relief link, we'll post that.
Sure. Yeah, anybody getting hit by tornadoes, that's an odd event for people because it's most of the time you'll be fine, and then there'll be a path of destruction that's absolute that these people lose everything, and so the people who maybe give tornado relief stuff, I don't know, help people out, any natural disaster.
And just as sort of a general thing, corporations are mostly guilty of accelerating man-made climate change, but like you as an individual, do what you can to sort of help the, things stay normal as far as our weather is concerned, because all this stuff is a symptom of it, and even though it might not feel like much, recycle your cans and shit.
Yeah. The real question I have for everybody: what has a larger carbon footprint, watching a Blu-ray or streaming?
Well, thanks for coming by, Justin.
You know what has a very little carbon footprint? Listening to the podcast Lost on Lost. If you're looking to be lost with us, next time we're going to be watching Season 1, Episode 13, Hearts and Minds, featuring some dead guy named Boone.
God, I don't want to do this episode either.
Oh, boy. I forgot Boone was in this fucking show.
Yeah. Oh, man. Well...
Nice.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of Lost on Lost.
Yeah, I'm JP.
I'm Adam.
Do you have any idea what's going on in this show?
No.
Me neither.
Lost on Lost is produced and edited by me and JP.
We wish to acknowledge that we live, work, and produce our show on occupied land.
Burbank, California is located on the traditional tribal lands of the Tongva, Chumash, Kizh, and Fernandino Tataviam peoples.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin is located on the traditional tribal lands of the Peoria, Potawatomi, Miama, and Ho-Chunk peoples.
And Lost was produced in Hawaii on the lands of the Kanaka Maoli.
Visit native-land.ca to learn more about the land you live and work on.
You can engage with us on IG, Facebook, and Twitter at Lost on Lost 1.
You can also email us at wearelostonlost@gmail.com or support us with dollar monies at coffee.com/wearelostonlost.
Thanks to Lostpedia and its community of contributors, Danny Schmitz, random.org, and as always, you the listeners for tuning in.
We're hosted at Podbean. You can hear us there or wherever you get your podcasts, except MySpace. We're not on MySpace.
Yet.